There has been some surveys. There was one in August. There was one that was just let out yesterday. I certainly do question the methodology and the weighting of those surveys. But I would like to say that we do not and should not ever make public policy based issues based on surveys. That's not good public policy to do it. So we do not make public policy based on surveys. But here's what I learned last week when we had all the testimony, and this is what I learned from both sides. According to my notes, only 2 shared how families were discriminated against, but not fired. During the testimony, I did not hear anyone that was a proponent say that they were denied access to a restaurant or a bar or a hotel because they were of their homosexuality or because they were gay. This is exactly what we should be hoping for, that businesses do this on their own, but not forced by a law, and not force people, which some people who object to it, whether it be personal, religious, or moral reasons, we have to remember that we have to respect their rights too. They have rights too. And the Constitution, the First Amendment, has rights of freedom of speech, religion, press, and the right to assemble. If we are asking for others to respect us, we must respect others' rights too. And in reality, when you pass a new law, you're taking away other people's freedoms. I will say something else that I learned last week, that the gay community that spoke to us was very eloquent, well prepared. They were a lot of professionals. It became very clear that it was not an unemployed group of people in Omaha or an underemployed group of people in Omaha. In fact, not and unlike many other minority groups in Omaha. In fact, we have a very vibrant gay community now in Omaha. And I think because we already have a very inclusive community is why we have that in Omaha. In fact, one female pastor testified last week that she became open with her sexual orientation after 2 years in Omaha, something she stated could not be done for 36 years in Kentucky. And I think that shows what kind of a community we already have. Many of the people that gave testimony last week, I felt like what they are saying is that the employers in Omaha are some mean-spirited, bigoted group of people. And we need to have this put into a protected class to protect people from these employers in Omaha. And I just don't see that. I see Omaha right now as a very inclusive, accepting community. But again, if we want it to be more inclusive, we don't want to divide the community. We want to do whatever we can to bring it together. The second point I want to bring up is about the exemptions. But when you add exemptions and more exemptions and more exemptions on the employees and the employers, in my opinion, what it does is it would make this protected class less important than the others. And I could see the need for the religious exemptions. I could see the reason why the church wants to be exempt if this ordinance is passed. If it was really that important and critical to society to prevent the discrimination, there shouldn't have the need to have the exemptions. But I've heard from many supporters of this proposed ordinance. They make judgments about me that are inaccurate. And they prejudge me as being supportive of discrimination. And what I want to say is those that prejudge me and others who oppose this ordinance are taking part in the exact kind of stereotypical thinking that you're wishing to outlaw with this ordinance. You don't have to be in a protected class to be important to us and for us to want to provide for your health and your safety and your security at work